Hey, everybody.
Hey, what's up? This is going to be an incredible show. Okay, I'm just going to be completely honest. I work from home a couple of days a week, and I binge watch all the time. The show that Lon has been on over and over. It is Gwen can tell you because she comes in and she's like, "You watching that again?" I'm like, "I can't stop. I can't stop." So yeah,
She's
Yepity,
like, stop me, stop me.
I can't stop. Yeah, I love Lon Strickler's a great guy. So let's just go ahead and bring him in. There he is. Hey, Lon.
Hi,
How you
Lon.
doing? Hello.
Okay, so I've had a lot of questions that I've
Hey.
been wanting to ask. Um, hey, Lee.
Hi, Lee.
One of the questions, how did you get started with this cryptid journey? How many times have you been asked that?
Yeah, a lot. Well, I started out with paranormal when I was younger.
Okay.
I was intuitive. I clairsentient, and I knew when I was younger that there was something up with me. I just didn't really understand what it was. So I didn't really have many experiences that I could explain. Even when I had the first real experience was, I was born and raised very, very near Gettysburg, and I live back up there now again, and I was I used to spend a lot of time in the summers on the battlefield. I have a little, little history nerd, so I used to get on my bike and travel down 116 and go over to Gettysburg. So this one July day, I guess I was about 9 years old. What year was that? About 67 or so, 1967. I was in the area where they call the Valley of Death, which is between Little Round Top, Wheatfield, and Devil's Den. And I'm sitting on my bike on the access road, and all of a sudden it's like a TV screen opened up in front of me, and I was in the battle. I mean, I was literally seeing soldiers, hearing gunfire, cannon fire, smelling gunpowder, all of it. And that lasted about 30 seconds and just faded away. Well, I knew then there was something up. I didn't really understand it. I never talked to my parents about it because they were very conservative. They wouldn't have understood anyway, I don't believe. And so what I was doing when I got into high school, I started doing investigations around town and around the area. And back in the early 70s, people weren't talking about doing paranormal investigations, not like it is now. It's so mainstream now. So so that's what I did. And it was all word of mouth, no cell phones. You couldn't call people, and you just talk to them whenever you wanted to. But I was doing investigations at homes and businesses and such. So when I graduated from high school, I moved down to Maryland. I lived outside of Baltimore for about 40 years, raised a family. But my first encounter, as far as cryptids goes, was May 9th, 1981, just outside of Sykesville, Maryland, where I had a Bigfoot encounter.
Oh, wow.
And because of that, that kind of started it off for me. I mean, I just really got interested. I wanted to know what it was I encountered. And I talked to people who had other encounters with this creature or other creatures in the area. And that's kind of where I got hooked into it. And I've been doing it ever since, almost over 45 years later.
That's so cool. I've never heard
is.
that. I've never heard you talk about that. So very cool. I do love Gettysburg. So does Blaine. Blaine loves it. I'm trying to unmute you there, sweetheart. I don't know why I can't get you.
Nobody's muted.
No, somehow it muted me.
I'm telling you, StreamYard's acting a fool. So
I
hopefully
was about to tell Lon, it's like, okay, I was stationed up in Maryland at Pax River, I thought the Navy had to build cargo pallets. And I probably went to Gettysburg the 2.5 years I was up there, probably 70 times.
Yeah.
I love both places. I've investigated Maryland, but I love Gettysburg.
Yeah, it kind of grows on you. You know, even when I moved down to Maryland, I was up here a lot. Then when my wife passed, my son and I moved up here, back up where I grew up, and I'm just down the road from there now. I'm in Gettysburg all the time. Yeah,
dude, that was so nice living at Pax River. It was 2 hours from door to door to the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
It was so nice and since I did radios back then, I'd tell the guys that own the hotels, look, I'll give you free advertising on our radio. He didn't know we were internet radio, but I used to get like cheap rooms in Gettysburg all the time because of this radio stuff.
Mm. I'm looking in the chat right now. Somebody mentioned about my name. It was a family name. If I was named after Lon Chaney, and I was actually, my father was a big horror fan. And I was named after Lon Chaney Jr. because, you know.
I love Lon Chaney.
Oh, he made the best.
Love Lon Chaney. Yes. Could we get a description of your Bigfoot encounter? That's a great question.
Well, it happened, like I said, it was in the morning of May 9th, 1981. I was fly fishing on the South Branch of Patapsco River, about a mile downstream from Sykesville. And I was standing in the river itself. I noticed a dog across the river. It was only like 40, 50 feet away. It wasn't very wide there, but I'd been there before. I used to do a lot of fly fishing all over Pennsylvania and Maryland. Well, anyway, I just didn't pay the dog any mind, but then I heard the dog yelp. And when I looked up, this creature stood up in the tall weeds, and this thing was huge. And it was hairy. It had very dark brown hair. I don't know if the dog ran in, he was in there sleeping, or the dog bothering him, whatever. But anyway, he stood up. He started walking out of the weeds to my left and walked out onto the riverbank. And, you know, I had known a Bigfoot back then, but I wasn't really sure what I was looking at. But I'd say it was about 7.5 foot tall, dark brown, long hair all over it. The legs were really matted with mud and everything. And we stood there and just locked eyes on each other for about 10 seconds. And I was probably about 40 foot away from it. You know, I'm just standing there in the river in my waders and looking at this thing. And I tell you, it looked more human than it did ape or primate or whatever. And I always referred to as being looking like what people say that a Neanderthal would look like, or you know, an early man. But after about 10 seconds, another thing it was doing, it was gnashing its teeth, making a clicking sound. I don't know if that was some type of response to seeing me, but he was watching me very intently. After about 10 seconds,
can I tell you what the clicking meant?
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you hear it audibly as a clicking noise? What it is, they have like a sort of a sonar radar that they send out to pick up your heartbeat to see if you're going to be a foe or prey to them. That's what
that
the
makes sense. Yeah, I've had other people tell me the same thing. So after about 10 seconds or so, it just quickly turned around and walked swiftly up into the woods. And of course, I wasn't going to be not chasing after it. In fact, I wanted to get out of there. So I went back I got up onto the road and got in my car and took off into town. You know, I didn't know what was really going on. I didn't know if it was a Bigfoot or what it was, but I got to a phone at the nearest bar that was right there on the side of the river. And I called the Sykesville police, and I told them what I had encountered. And the woman on the other end told me, look, go back to where you were. We'll have an officer meet you there. I'm thinking, well, do I really want to go back there? I don't know if those things are going to come back. But, you know, it was only like a 3 or 4 minute drive. So I got back into the car, drove back out to the area, And by the time I got there, a Maryland State police officer was already there with his old wood trestles across the road. So that seemed awful strange to me, how they would know this. I later found out that there had been a sighting about 3 hours earlier downstream by a woman who had called the police, but it still didn't seem right. So I pulled up, and the police officer motioned me to roll the window down. And I told him, I said, "Look, I just called into Sykesville the police station, and they told me to come back here, and I wanted to let you know what was going on." He said, "You got to leave. You got to get out of here."
Oh my!
And he was insistent, so I turned around and got out of there. So about an hour later, I decided, well, I'm driving back down there and see what's going on. And when I did, there were cars all over the place. In fact, I had to park about a quarter mile away from where it was because of all the cars. So I got out and walked up to the barrier. By that time, there was a Howard County police officer standing there. And I'm kind of acting stupid about it and said to him, "Well, I'm trying to get to Marriottsville. Why is the roadblock?" He said, "Somebody said they saw a Bigfoot." Well, I'm looking around. There are people everywhere. They had dogs and searchers in the woods, and they had a big white tent set up across the river where this thing was originally. Every jurisdiction was there. As well, the feds used to drive the old black Wagoneers back then. And there were 2 of those sitting there, and I heard a helicopter. So I didn't know what was going on. So, yeah, it was crazy. So I stood around for a couple more minutes until I saw the cop that I originally spoke to. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't feel like talking to them about this. So I just turned around and went back home. So when I got home, I called the 3 network TV stations in Baltimore and told them what was going on. All 3 of them wanted to interview me, but they wanted to find out what was happening first. So he said, "We'll give you a call back." Well, a week later, nobody had called me. So I called one of the stations, WMAR, and talked to the news editor there, told him who I was. I don't know if that's who I talked to originally, but he said, "I can't talk to you," and hung up on me. So that's been the big mystery with this thing ever since that time. I don't know. I later found out there had been several sightings there about 8 years earlier of a creature they called the Sykesville Monster. And it was in the media. The Baltimore Afro-Americans, actually the media that did the original report on it. And they interviewed people up along the river and all, and it's an African-American community. So, they were talking to them. So what happened was one of the guys who I was working with was actually kind of the patriarch of the families down there. There was 2 or 3 families that lived in that area. And he gave me access to all the original witnesses and others who had had sightings of this thing. So I really got into it. I mean, I was digging into it. But as time went on, there was never any record of the sighting, but any of the jurisdictions, nobody had any information. And in fact, back in 2013, when Monsters and Mysteries in America did an episode about it, the city manager was interested in it. So she called them. They did digging, and they couldn't find any reference to the sighting either. And the interesting thing is, within a 5-mile radius of my sighting, there had been 4 other Class A sightings, according to BFRO. So I don't know if this thing had been at a facility somewhere down the river or any escaped or something, but they had all these jurisdictions out there looking for it. And in fact, I had several of the police officers who had been there at that time contact me and verify everything. So, so that was my Bigfoot encounter.
That's intense, y'all.
That is intense, man.
What I had happened was a little similar because I was at my dad's. Dad was working at Ross Allen's Reptile Institute in Silver Springs. We were in a camper. Long story short, we had this episode with a skunk ape, And we had been told by the Seminole tribe that was connected to the Institute that they had seen it and what it wanted, you know, and all of those things. So whenever we had this direct encounter, because I actually did touch it. Well, it touched me. It's a long story. I don't want to go into all that, but all the scientists from the Institute came, and there was blood from he got hurt on the license tag of the camper. And so hair was there, blood was there. All these people were getting all these samples, and then poof, it went away. I never heard another word. And I do have a friend that is waiting backstage. Her name is Debbie Cribb, and I'm going to play her intro really quick. It's small, but I can't wait to add her to the group because she's got similar encounters, and I think she may remember a little bit about what I'm talking about. So here's her intro. She's a paranormal investigator, cryptid researcher, and psychic medium. All right. So now I'm going to bring in Debbie and her son. Hey, guys.
Hey.
Debbie and Devin.
Hello.
Now,
What's going on?
did you hear what Lon was saying about his encounter and how the information just kind of disappeared? Very similar to alien UFO sightings and USO underwater things that's happened. So, and then that happened to me. Do you remember the skunk ape sightings in the 70s that were so popular around the Institute? You may not, because you were in
Actually,
the
yeah. Yeah, because we lived in Homestead, Florida
right?
at the time. And that's where I had my experience as well, was in Homestead. And there was a lot of, talk and joking, nervous joking. I think that's the best way to put it, is nervous joking, because people were like, there's everything else out in the Everglades. Why can't there be something like that? And then sure enough, I had a experience with it myself, up close and personal. And that was the first and last time that I can say I've ever seen them. But it was enough to last me for a lifetime, that's for sure.
So in the 70s, it was in the Miami, Broward County and the Palm Beach County newspapers. They said that there was a 5'7" ape-like creature covered in dark reddish or black hair. I saw black with a strong foul odor. Oh yes, that's understated. And so it was pretty intense that it was I'm looking for the newspaper articles right now.
Well, I've got a bit of a theory about the odor part of it, and this is coming from my experience with it. Now, this happened when I was young. I was in high school at the time, and where we lived on the
Lon posted gators and crocs and boas. Why not skunk apes?
That's Lynn. That's Lynn. Yeah.
This is my guy. This is why I love Lynn. He's great.
He blended. But we lived on Homestead Air Force Base at the time. So in back of the base of the flight line, of course, that's where all the high school kids would go with their shenanigans back there. And I was one of them. And we'd always go in the back of the flight line. It was very deserted back there. But it was a perfect environment when you think about it, especially for an animal that's, extremely rare as this is, and a perfect hiding spot. But there was a bunch of kids out there, and we were all, just having a good time out there. And the first thing that I noticed was the odor. It was like, what on earth died out here? Who knows? And I just kind of turned around and back in Homestead, there's a lot of like little outlaying canals and marshes and things like that, and a lot of mangroves, lots of mangroves. And anybody who's been through a mangrove knows you just don't walk through mangroves. They're very, very thick. They're very catching. You just don't walk through a mango. It just doesn't happen. And sure enough, turned around and looked, and there he was standing in the middle of like a mangrove type of a canal. And I looked at him and he looked at me, and we're both like, whoa, kind of a thing. But what kind of took me off about this is that, everybody talks about the Bigfoots being, 8 foot, 9 foot, 10 foot tall. This was not that big. It didn't fit that classic thing that you keep hearing about. That's not what I saw. I saw the animal itself. But to be honest with you, unless it was a juvenile, and more than likely a female juvenile at that, and the females are going to be smaller, of course, than the males, but I would say maybe 7 foot, maybe at the most 8 foot. And that's taking it. That's taking it up there.
Now, the mother that
the smell
we
was great.
experienced was that tall.
The
But
what?
the baby, the mother that we saw, that my mother and I saw, was about that size. But the baby, the one that I encountered the most, was
Mhm.
about 5'7". Okay,
Exactly.
so Tim Yorks, he said, I bumped into a fellow and his wife 2 weeks ago wearing my Bigfoot hide and seek t-shirt. He said he saw one when he was 5 with his mom in, I can't say it,
The Funiac Springs.
That's in
It's in
Thank
Defuniac.
you,
The
Florida. I
Funiac.
was,
That's what I just said.
say it again.
The Funiac Springs.
The Funiac.
Mhm.
Thank you.
The Funiac.
He said it was skinny
Funiac.
and strange.
Hmm.
The Bigfoot was skinny and strange.
Well, in a way that would be very possible. When you're thinking about Bigfoot, really what we're doing is we're looking at a primate type of an animal. He can eat vegetation and he can eat meat. But a lot of times these animals are actually kind of picky about, and your typical primate isn't just going to stick anything in their mouth. They're just not going to do that. They're actually very, very picky about what they eat. And when you're looking at it from a zoological point of view, because that's really what these animals are. These animals are just not defined at this point. They just haven't been, quote, discovered at this point. So let's look at it from a zoological point of view. A dog can be big and fat and heavy if he's in an area where he has a large amount of his prime food source. But if another animal is in another area, they're not going to have that body weight. They're not going to have that body type. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be
Right.
leaner. They're going to be slimmer. They're going to adapt more to their surroundings than another one in another area. So, and I really think that's why a lot of these reports are so varied, because the animals themselves and their environments are very varied. But the one that I saw, like I was saying, it was not that tall, which is what leads me to believe in either being adolescent or female or both. But the way that when it turned to run, I have never in my life seen even an animal run through mangroves with such ease
That's right.
that this creature
right.
did.
They'll just take off, and it's straight shot. Nothing bothered them.
Nothing.
I do want to show you
Nothing.
guys. I want to show you something that I did find, and this is off the internet, so it doesn't look like a perfect scan. First of all, I want to show you Daddy. Debbie, I know you remember Dad. I already showed Lon. I feel a little selfish showing Daddy, but okay. So here is the newspaper article. Skunk ape sighted. This is at Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and
Right.
this was around the same time. This was definitely the 70s.
Yeah.
And this guy here, okay, this one is at the Palm Beach Post, and this was 70.
Okay.
I believe that says 75, waiting for the skunk ape to surface again. And I have another article it's downloading, but skunk ape actually hit a police car. Like they were trying to corner him, and he went up to it and just boom, and knocked the front end of it and went off. So I think they may have made him mad a little bit. So yeah.
And you know,
My
really,
encounter-
that.
Sorry, Deb.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to
I
say,
overstepped
really,
you. I'm
that.
sorry.
Oh, no. That actually falls into typical primate behavior when you're talking about him, you know, hitting on something, because a lot of primate behavior is bluff. They won't get into it
Isn't that the
unless they
truth?
figure, yeah, and they won't really get into it because, of course, you know, they run a risk of being injured, but they're not. They don't like being around anybody. They're very private and very off to their own, and if they can avoid a conflict, they will. But they will put on one heck of a show before that until they can just make this grand exit that they have. The last thing you want them to do is to follow through with a threat, because they will
Yeah,
do
don't piss them off because it's going to be on.
no
So out of
great
everybody
harm when
that's
they
on
do.
the show tonight, all of us have had either a cryptid or unexplained experience. Blaine,
Yes.
tell us a bit about yours.
Okay,
Besides the
I've
gin.
got three actually. The first time
Yeah.
I saw Bigfoot, I was in a tree stand here in Alabama, and it walked under my tree stand, and I'm like,
Blaine.
"What in the
Wow.
world?" And I'm looking at this thing, and like Lon said, it had a human face, and I actually let it see because it looked up and looked at me, and I put my gun down, let him know I wasn't no threat to him. I just wanted the deer that ran through before he came through, because he was chasing the same deer I was trying to hunt. And then my second encounter was in Afghanistan, Iraq, and I had a gin come through the wall at me and charge me and knock me down. You can watch that episode on Monster Quest, season 5, episode 2. I got a
Just
cheap
a little
plug
plug.
there.
Just
And
a little
Right off the
plug.
top.
and my other one was with Lee and Matt, was what the Native Americans call little people up at Haygood Mill.
Mhm.
Yes.
Y'all,
Oh, Deb.
that was an experience. Could I tell them about it, Lee?
Please. And Lon, you're going to laugh your honey off. Have
Okay,
you ever
we
had
were
a
literally
little-
in a cabin that had some beds in it and stuff. It was just for show. We're sitting there ghost boxing, and next thing I hear, they had two little people that were making love on the bed. And we caught it.
It scared me. It scared me, but I didn't know exactly what was going on. I just heard the sound, and my husband started taking pictures. We're trying to find this thing, and then when he blew it up, he was like, "Y'all look at this."
We were
Oh,
dying
that's
And I
laughing.
thought,
It
"Oh
was
my
so
God!"
funny. That's
It
the last
was.
thing you expect on an investigation is two little people having sex on a bed with. Must have been 10 of us in that room, in that little
And
And
cabin.
you think you were surprised?
They didn't care. They didn't care.
They
They
didn't
were
care.
just about it.
We pooped the party, but we've got pictures and our powwow. Let me do this really quick, Gwen. I'm gonna throw this up. Lon, you're more than welcome to come to the powwow. Gwen, help
Yes.
me. Where the heck is the
Hold
powwow?
on, baby. Let me get it. Let me get it.
Please, because I don't know. I'll have who knows what up.
I know. Just give me. Oh,
Oh, I
hold
see
on.
it. I see it.
I got
see
it. I got it. I got it. Quit
Well, thank
clicking.
you.
There you go. There you go.
Thank you.
Cool.
All right, so it's May the 2nd. It starts at 9:30 to 5:30. It's at the Haygood Mill. It's a historic site in Pickens. And what I love about it first is all cultural. You're going to have indigenous food. We have we'll be regalia and dancing, and we'll be telling our folk tales, things that we use to teach children. But my part is going to be fantastic after this is that we have the museum to ourselves, and there's petroglyphs on a rock that goes down into the museum, and we can investigate it. And I want you to know that this is well known in the area that little people live there, and they are interdimensional because we've experienced their craziness. God love them, they're precious, and we do gift them like we're supposed to and show them lots of respect. But fairies have been seen there. little people. Those of you watching, I know that you've either seen us go live and experience things. We have people actually call in and do PvP sessions with us. So it's pretty intense. Lon, if you want to come, you're welcome to. There's a hotel up the road, super cheap, and we can just go all over the place. It's like 12 different
Wow.
cabins that came from all over the Southeast, and they've been moved there. And there's the museum, lots of indigenous regalia, rocks, artifacts, and there's even a gift shop that's in the front where you could buy cornmeal and grits that is ground in the water wheel, the grinding house.
Oh,
Mhm.
And there's a wheel there. I'll see if I can find some pictures and post them for you. But it's beautiful. And as the creek takes the wheel around, it's grinding the meal inside. The best grits you'll ever eat. Shrimp and grits blows your mind from there. And there's a blacksmith shop, so you can make a railroad tie and MacGyver whatever you want out of it. So I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun. But I'd love for you all to come if you'd like to. So it's May 2nd. And so anyway, all of that to say what Blaine's talking about, we were clicking around because we heard a noise and we're trying to capture the noise. So we're going around clickety click. And all of us, I'm like, I can't find it. Can you find it? So we're all clicky, clicky, clicky. Peyote.
No, Lynn, I don't
Well,
think
that's
so.
West Coast Native Americans. Not
That's West Coast.
Honey, it's
It's only like
moonshine
Arizona
down
and
here.
Mexico, Lon. Come on.
It's moonshine down here. But I'll buy you an Indian taco if you come. Okay, Debbie? And you
Oh.
get all of you.
taco.
We might have
Oh,
to
Debbie,
stand in
you
line
know
for
you
2
can
hours to get it, but
I know.
we're gonna,
Oh, I'm
We're gonna
doing the
have
food
fun.
run. Remember, I'm going to stand in line and get all this food. That's gonna,
we're gonna get her a cart.
yeah.
It
I'm
is
gonna get
We're
her.
gonna roll the cart up
Yeah.
with her list.
It'll
and
just be
Poor
don't pay
Gwen.
money. Don't pay money.
Yeah, just start
yeah,
money.
we'll
Everybody
all
be like,
donate
"What's
money, and she
for
keeps
this
on.
money?"
Yeah, gotta do what
Oh
gotta
my
do,
God,
man.
poor Gwen.
Maybe I'll bring one
I
of Matt's
volunteer.
brothers. I'll bring one of
You get all the
Matthew's
good
brothers
jobs,
or
Gwen.
sisters. Yeah,
Thank
let
you.
them do it. Let Matt's little brother Harrison do it. You
Well,
gotta
his
be
big
dancing.
brother John could do it. He'll be spinning all over.
He'll be too busy chasing you. Am I wrong?
No,
Am I wrong?
You ain't lying.
you're not wrong.
All you
I'm
ain't
not
lying.
wrong.
That's all I can tell you.
Oh, another shameless plug, and I'll get back to being normal.
Oh, wait, wait. You'll
We are
start
very
clicking?
excited. There we go.
Oh,
So it
yes.
aired, the first one aired on the 30th. The dates aren't right, but if you have Roku, it's really simple. Download the History Channel app,
Mhm.
and then you can see the reboot of Monster Quest. Moonshine will do. Put peaches
Moonshine
in
will
it.
do.
I do have some peach moonshine here. First time I ever had moonshine was Blaine Rohan brought it to me in a water bottle. I got drunk in
Why
the
does that
bottle.
not surprise me, Blaine?
I was laying on the floor of my camper ghost hunting because we have
I
parked
bet you
in
were.
a haunted area. I was laying on the
Well, we
floor
didn't have to
trying
go
to do an EVP session, which I never do this. I never mixed alcohol and stuff, but it was too late. And I was so happy we were really through. I was just excited. There were all these spirits in the camper with us. So I'm drinking the moonshine, laying in the floor. You know, you have to lay in the floor if you're going to ghost hunt for some reason. I don't know why that is, but it seems everybody
See,
has.
I do not because of that knee that's.
Well, I can get down. I just can't get up.
That's it. I can't get up.
I have to roll
To
up.
roll, yes. It's
I
a
would think
comedy
that if you're drinking peach moonshine, you may as well lay on the floor because that's where you're going to end up
I
going
like-
anyway.
Yep, I like the cherry
Get
one
a head
actually.
shot at it.
Yeah,
And
the
we
cherry
had
one
an
I got
amazing-
is my favorite. Yeah.
Okay, so round table.
Okay.
What kind of cryptid besides a thunderbird is a winged creature that's got a wingspan of maybe 8 feet? And it's sort of bat-like. Okay, I saw this thing and it swooped down and shook the whole truck. I don't know. I saw a shadow and I thought my top of my head was going to be popped off, you know, like here I go. I'm going to, these talons are going to be, I
I
don't know.
can't think of the
what
name of it.
A phoenix.
Could be
A phoenix, yeah.
Mothman.
Well, I
I
felt,
thought they
I wondered
Mothman.
about that too. Lon,
Mothman's
can
only
you
like
help
in
me?
northeast, so they don't come down this
Okay.
far.
Okay. True. Okay.
Yeah.
But the
Well, I'm
Phoenix can go
trying.
anywhere.
That's
Well, we've
yeah.
had so many hurricanes.
Venus can go
You
anywhere.
know, maybe it came on over here because it was
Hey,
blowing
it's
there. I
possible.
don't know.
Well, these winged
Well,
humanoid sightings are everywhere now. I mean, of course, we
They
did the
are.
investigation in Chicago, and that started in 2011, really blew up in 2017. But there's a lot of different winged humanoid-like creatures that people are seeing. I don't know. I believe they're ultra-terrestrial. I don't believe they're here all the time. I think they come in and out.
Mhm.
But that investigation, and we're still doing it. I mean, we've had in fact, I just had the 186th sighting reported to me 2 days ago of these creatures. And we're getting a lot of them. We had gotten a lot of them. Some of them just didn't pass the muster, but yeah, this is something that's been going on all over North America. And of course, when we did the Unsolved Mysteries episode on Netflix, the producers were asking people to send in reports to them. And about after 6 months after it aired, they contacted me and sent me the reports. Well, we got 130 reports from them. About 35 of them were from the Chicago land area, but we had a lot of foreign reports too. And, I have contacted several of those people, but this is a phenomenon that's been going on for quite a while. It's just that, it's just not what happened in Point Pleasant. It's just what's happening everywhere else. And there are differences, but for the most part, I believe they're coming from the same place. I think they're summoned beings. I don't think they just come for any old reason. I think for the most part, they're either summoned by maybe a very powerful spirit energy or something looking for a sentinel or a protector of some type. Or in the case of what's going on in Chicago, from some of the evidence that we've gotten, I believe that it may be some type of initiation for the younger winged humanoids somehow. That's kind of like some of the information we've received, but it's a continuing process. I mean, I've been involved with this now since 2011, so written 2 books about it, did a couple of shows about it and such, but it's going to continue on, and we'll see what happens. But and the wingspan, you were talking about the wingspan, 8 foot. Well, the sightings we had were, for the most part, were of batwing-like creatures, gargoyle-like creatures with wingspans anywhere from 10 to 15 foot, full wingspans.
That's big.
Yeah, they're huge. And so, right in the middle of the Chicago area, and all around. And in fact, we take reports within a 250-mile radius of downtown Chicago. So we're getting them in Indiana, Illinois, and up into Wisconsin and across the lake over into Michigan. So this is a phenomena, but it's not unusual for the upper Midwest. I mean, winged creatures, winged cryptids are sightings and encounters are pretty well standard in that area, and there are a lot of them come from there.
I'm
well,
just waiting.
what had happened? Blaine, you helped me with this this case a couple years ago. Gwen, I've been telling you about it off and on, and we're trying to get access back to the property. The client that we went to see, he had seen a skeleton man and his head was on fire. And the father had seen this creature, and I like gargoyles too from the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, the man saw a dude on fire, and he had clothes on, and the clothes wasn't burning, but his head was on fire. And the next day, his father died.
Mm.
He saw it, and it was going down the road like really fast, and his head was on fire. And then he was shooting a muzzle loader the next day. I don't know why. If he saw this thing, why would he do that? But he did, and it backfired on him, and he was in the hospital, and they thought he wasn't going to make it. So we ran to the hospital, And he said that he's been cursed, that this is something that has cursed the land. There was somebody else that owned the land that had the same thing happen. So what do we do but go there? And then this winged thing came down, whoosh. And I was in a truck very similar to like it was a little love truck back in the day. Okay. It was just an old truck that my husband had for work. We don't have it anymore. It's just a little truck. And anyway, this thing, boom, and I felt the whole car, and I had gotten, I saw that thing happen. I'm like, what the heck was that? Of course, my dumb butt gets out of the car and I'm looking around trying to see what it was. And then I see it coming. And the only thing I see is wings, and here it comes. And so I started running to the car, and I don't know if it was wind or a foot, but anyway, and then it came around and it hit me, the same feeling I got in the car. And right after that, I called Blaine. Didn't know Gwen at the time, but I've been talking about this case for a long time, and that's talked to the guy, and I think we have access back.
Oh, nice.
What in the heck is going on?
That's crazy, Lee.
Yeah.
I remember you calling me on that, and I'm like,
all of it. I never told you the whole story, but this poor man, his fiance was crying to us like, my fiance is going to die. He's going to die. So
Yeah.
I just thought I would bring it up. We did a clearing as if it was like a paranormal thing, thinking that I know that there's a connection between cryptids and ghosts or paranormal, because if you see one, you see another. And there's a theory about that right now because they are interdimensional beings, and I've been studying some of that. But Lon, maybe you can.
I think, most of the reports that we get now, I mean, even back then, but more so now, when you talk to a witness, you get that sense that there's just not the singular sighting or encounter that's part of it. I mean, they always seem to be holding something back. And honestly, I'd say a vast majority of the reports that we get, that we do investigate, there are other aspects of the paranormal connected to it. Either UFOs or spirits, orbs, and such, and other phenomena. It invariably pops up nowadays. And I mean, there's a thin line between all aspects of the paranormal. I mean, we do run into a lot of different things.
Each one of us on this panel has talked about that over the years, and Lon just confirmed it. This is a really big moment for me. Thank you. A little emotional because I've been trying to do that since I was a kid. I wish Mama was here, Gwen.
She is with us all the time.
She is
all the time.
Okay. So while I can
I even have her ashes. That's
I know.
She's with me all the time.
I had Mama's ashes, and they fell out in my bra. And so I had to put newspaper down and shake my bra over the sink.
It happened, Debbie. It happened. It did. Only delay.
I believe it.
I was screaming.
Oh, I totally believe it.
Oh, it's even funnier. I'm on the phone with. She says, "Hold on a minute. I got to shake my bra out."
Blaine's like, TMI, Lee. TMI.
So, but and then Mama clearly said, "Why are you doing that? You've got my DNA. I'm your mom."
Yeah.
Put it down.
Take me out of your boobs.
Yeah, shake me out of your boobs and put the thing away. I did manage to get some of it back in the vial, but I'm just like, I'm being so sentimental. Mom's with me. I got this, and Dad's with me. Mama Jenny's with me. So, okay, so that was funny. It made me happy. All right, so surprise post here. In the 70s, there was legislation that the government in Florida, here, I'll just pop it up for you. This is the Skunk Ape Protection Act. This is an actual scan, and it shows that Representative Haben took to the House Bill number 10 by Representative Hazelton, and they said that they wanted to have a subcommittee planning this, and it's there. You can see that one better. They were afraid that people were going to start hunting the skunk apes. And after the Seminole Indians brought up the whole fact that these are sacred creatures, and that they were here to warn us, very similar to the story of Mothman. And they're here to show us love, and they're very sacred to the Seminoles because they could actually communicate with them.
What was that noise?
Did you hear it?
I heard something.
Was this?
Yep. It'll
I just
happen
grabbed some
again.
water.
My house is so haunted, it'll happen.
So is mine.
But
So
anyway.
we both live in haunted houses. So does Gwen. I think Deb does too.
Well, I'm
Gwen's
not
I
haunted.
always do.
Gwen's haunted. It's not the house.
It is me, and I swear to you, everywhere I go.
She has spirit guides, and they are constantly bossing her. But this house is extremely haunted.
I love it there, so that's my
Well,
second
have you
home.
had
Girl.
UFO
I think
experience?
Blaine's too. Yeah.
Yes, it is. My
Mhm.
family right here. So have you guys had UFO
I do have a
experiences?
I do have a theory about the interdimensional connection with the paranormal and all of that.
Yes,
Um,
please.
There was an investigation, and this is because the name is familiar. We were at the Funiac Springs at the hotel there, and that's one of our favorite places to go to. We've researched that place, and it's like our second home over there. And up in one of the rooms upstairs, we caught a beautiful, beautiful example of a portal. And the interesting thing is, we went back downstairs, and we'd never caught this before there. And all the times that we'd investigated, we'd never caught that before. Downstairs, over by the staircase, there was another one. Beautiful, perfect, a perfect portal. The little sparkling stuff in it, I mean, perfect. They didn't line up, but that doesn't matter at all. People think, oh, it has to be this tube coming. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. It doesn't follow those rules.
Nope.
But it was almost, and I think at this point, you remember Sarah put it perfectly when she said it's like a train station. We're seeing them come in and we're seeing them go out, and you could see it. My theory on it is these animals are no different than anything else coming in and out from it. They have no idea that they're even doing it. They come upon it, they go through it, boom, there they are. And they can leave just as easily.
Mm-hmm.
And I think as time is going on, we're beginning to find out how much easier it is for this to occur, because a lot of things are opening up. A lot more information is opening up. And it's not as random as we seem to think that it is, but it's happening it can happen just so very easily. And I think a lot more of this is going to be disclosed when they're saying that this is the year of the disclosure. I don't know. We'll see. Really, right? And what are they going to disclose? Some things that we already know. Get past that, dude. We're all hip to that. We want to know. I want to know what they're not telling us. That's what what they are not saying is what really is going on.
Do you see that? The
Yeah,
comment?
but
Can you see it, Debbie?
Tim is saying that government doesn't want to uncover the paranormal, especially creatures, because they would have to spend money to protect them.
Mm-hmm.
And that
That's
is
true.
exactly
That is true.
why I brought that legislation up.
Or more like
Because, we would make a mess of it. We would. Oh my God, you guys. One more. I got two more surprises. Are you ready?
Hold on.
Yay!
Okay, so here's one.
Sure.
This is a drawing that someone saw a skunk ape in Florida around the same time as if they walked through a door. That's right.
Right.
That's
True,
exactly right.
because they actually are. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they got the sketch artist that's attached to the Ocala Police Department
Mhm.
to draw what the witness saw. If I can get it to go there. And that's what was
Okay.
drawn. Okay. The hands are what I saw. The rest is not so much.
Hmm.
pretty good job though, as far as artists go.
Good damn job.
It is. It is.
Yep. And here's the other surprise. This is somebody that I remember. This is Miss Debbie when she was working at Silver Springs.
Go,
Look
go.
at
Look
that
at
trike, you go, girl.
I still have that trike.
Yep.
It's
Do you?
outside.
Oh yeah,
That's my Harley.
You need to
I love it, girl. So
Miranda's not the only one with a Harley.
Uh, so Blaine, do you remember us seeing UFOs? And we had Deb and her son Justin.
Wayne, you were.
I
We were
was up in South
that was-
Carolina when you called us.
Yeah,
We
he
were
was
all
there.
outside. Lon, did you experience any UFO sightings during the Northern Lights that were moving? And,
Aurora
we
Borealis.
see it. First time I ever, Aurora. What do you say?
Yeah.
How do you see it? Aurora.
Borealis.
Yeah, Borealis. I can't
Borealis.
talk today. Blaine's gonna have to talk for me.
I have heard people who have mentioned seeing lights in the sky during these the auroras, but I haven't seen any. And in fact, out of all the different things I have encountered and things you believe you see, I don't ever believe I've seen an actual UFO. Now I've seen orbs and I've seen other things like that, but something up in the sky doing maneuvers that are just impossible and stuff like that, I don't really believe I've ever seen anything like that. But
I'll be right back.
it's UFOs aren't really my bag. I do
I
get
didn't
some
know.
cases. I get
Yeah.
cases and stuff all the time, and people are wondering if they're connected to other phenomena, and I will look into it. But it's not one of my bigger things.
Well, Lon, what we experienced when the Aurora Borealis came to the south, because it's like every 60 years or something, it comes down when you can see it in the sky.
Yeah.
What we were seeing, dude, we were seeing the northern lights, but we were seeing other lights, and we'd ask them, can you move left? And it wouldn't move left on command, or move right, go up or go down. And we did this for at least 45 minutes with them.
Mm-hmm.
Then when we get back to Lee's house, her husband Matt had already went to bed. Me and Lee are out there just talking about how cool everything was. And out of the blue, right in the corner of her living room, 3 figures come out of the ceiling into her living room, and they communicated with us through telepathy.
It blew
They
my
were
mind.
telling us that we were attracted to your energies, and the reason we came toward you because we can understand you and you can understand us. I'm like, this is just freaking cool.
Well, I had a friend that had been working with UFOs for so long. His father had as well, and he told me, his name's Dave Campione, and he told me how you can speak with UFOs and aliens telepathically. And I was like, well, there they are. And I said, I'm going to give it a whirl. And Matt was like, go ahead. And so Blaine, yeah, let's try it. So we did. And here they come. And I didn't see them in flesh, but the spirit was so strong, it looked like it.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen full body apparitions. That was not it. That was not it. It was something different. It was definitely 3-dimensional, like a hologram looking something.
That's what it was.
But-
I think it was a hologram. we
Yeah.
saw.
And man, they came
good for
down.
you.
And I've seen a full body apparition float over me before. I was
Me
investigating an opera house, and she was a big old diva, looked like something from Ghostbusters. She was all spread out. She had her, floppity flop dress, it was gorgeous. And I was like, whoa. And it was nothing compared to this.
Wow.
It was just that intense. When Blaine tells the story, it never does. He does justice. I don't.
But y'all's energy is awesome. So I can see. Yeah, of course.
UFOs, UAPs, and cryptids are the hardest to investigate because of their random nature. Ghosts are much easier. Tim, you're right.
Yeah, Tim, you're correct.
That is true. I mean, it's interesting. Sometimes spirits are almost predictable.
Well, for us, they are, because we've done it so long, and they're so they just flock to us. So it's like now it's like, hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
Well, let's
Like, where
be
you been?
honest. I mean, we all have spirit guides. I mean,
Mhm.
Gwen's got them that ride in the car with her wherever she goes, and if she doesn't go enough, they'll come get her and ask her why she hadn't got in the car.
I was sick and
that's
home for like 3 days, and
Mhm.
why ain't you going somewhere? Because
No.
They like the car
Mine
rides.
are great in
They love
traffic.
it. But we can't make
Mine are
friends
great in
with an
traffic, yeah.
alien. Yeah, we can't make friends with an alien that'll introduce us with other aliens. It's just not how that works.
Well,
As long as they're not
well, they're
reptilian,
claiming that they're
the
there.
rest of them I'm okay with. The reptilians, they're pardon my French, they're assholes.
They are.
Yeah, let's not have those. Let's leave them be.
There's
So,
one in every
we're
crowd.
almost done, so we probably need to talk a little bit real quick of how people can get in touch with you or
Yes.
see your show. So first, I'm going to pop up Miss that's Debbie Cribb, and she's our special guest tonight on Cryptid Nation. How can
Mhm.
people get in touch with you, Deb?
Well, I have my own show, Spooky Things with Debbie, and that's on the Web Broadcasting Network.
Mhm.
I'm also on Facebook under Spooky Things with Debbie. That's you can message me there. I'm really pretty easy to get in touch with.
I'm going to pop that poster up for you.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome, Spooky
I
Things.
like
what
that.
you
That's
mean.
cool.
Yeah,
Thank
I do too. Okay, how about you, Lon? You're up to a lot of stuff, so do tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I the Fams and Monsters blog is probably my biggest priority because I'm doing that every day. That's famsandmonsters.com. Of course, I have my show every Friday night, Fams and Monsters Radio on YouTube. And yeah, I mean, that's basically what I do. And other projects that always seem to happen. And yeah, this is going to be a big year. We got a lot going on, so a lot of irons in the fire. Hopefully, things are going to develop the way we want it to develop. But yeah,
I
we're going to
agree
keep
there.
busy.
He's got a lot of irons in the fire, and he's been talking to a lot of people. So I hope all of that works out, and that you're able to give a voice to some of these cryptids, because I know that's a big deal.
It is.
People need to know what's out there and to have respect for
Absolutely.
all creatures.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And, I think a really major thing to remember here is, they're called cryptids, but I really like to think of them as being highly endangered. And, all these endangered animals are being very much taken care of by the United States government. It's another reason why they don't want any more of them. But,
Mhm.
people, the only thing I can do is implore you, if you do come across one of these extraordinarily amazing animals, don't harm it. Please don't. It's like, shoot them and take them in. Oh, great. Just,
Yeah,
be
grow up.
respectful.
Well, the
Yeah,
nice thing about it, Deb, is most of them are interdimensional. You couldn't shoot them if you wanted to. So
I hope.
Yeah.
Try to get it on my flip phone.
Okay, guys,
Flip out
here
the phone.
is here's Lon's poster I made for him. All right, Lon Strickler, special guest
Oh, I
on
like that.
Cryptid Nation. And here is the website that he was just speaking of: Phantoms and Monsters, True Cryptid Encounters, Unexplained Scary Experiences, and Real Eyewitness Reports. And you can go to his website and report an encounter. You can also make a donation to his work. So if you really want some real feedback, as we have a lot of people, let me put it up one more time. We have a lot of people that are contacting us about Cryptid Nation with reports. Please contact Lon, okay? Because there's things that he can do to kind of sort through things for you, okay? Lon's a great guy,
Great.
and he's there for you to talk to, and he's opened his ear and his knowledge to you. So just take advantage of it. Get to know him and find out what he
Absolutely.
can do. Also, we are working on Family Spirit, a new project. I briefly mentioned it to Blaine. I'm not even sure I was able to tell Gwen because she's been traveling, But this is going to be fun. It's this is a release of some investigations that we've done at a train depot that is a portal. And so we'll be
Cool.
releasing that. Gwen's going to have to help me, but we're going to get that done. It's going to be a
We'll
lot
get
of
it
fun.
done.
And we are looking for people that had ghostly or paranormal experiences on a highway. I really feel like there's been some truckers that have had some incredible experiences. This
Oh,
one
I'm
guy was
sure.
telling me about this
Well, some Uber
dark
guy.
cloud came over him and it was
Uber
like
people.
sand and stuff down the truck. And in 10 minutes, he was 100 miles down the road. So, there's things like that. I'd really like to unpack that. So hopefully we'll have people that have that experience. And we are looking for cryptid experiencers to tell their stories. So just be prepared. We'll just pass you right on over to Lon because there's so many things going on that he's seen over the many years. He's a great guy to talk to. All right.
I think we're going to
That's
have
our
a lot
show.
more experiences. Yeah.
So,
Let's mention one more
Lane?
thing.
yes, please, ma'am.
Lon, are you going to be at any conventions of any sort this year?
I don't know. I think I'm probably going to be so busy with projects. I mean, I'll do local
You sound
stuff,
like it. Yeah.
but other than that, probably not. Unless something comes up that piques my interest or somebody begs me enough to do it, I'll do it. But
Yeah, he said I'll see you at the Enterprise Con this summer.
The Lon, you can
Enterprise
visit with
Con.
us at the Battlefield Bash in Gettysburg.
True.
yeah, I'm probably going
July.
to go to check it out. I know Lee's going to be there, so
All of us will
Yeah.
be there except for
I'll have
Debbie
to
and
speak.
your son.
I'll probably stop
Yeah.
by.
I'm gonna
Come
pull
on,
that
Sarah.
I'm
up.
going to be there.
That's that right there in Gettysburg.
So we'll be there.
Mm-hmm. And then Debbie's
Something
going to
you
be
might-
at Deep South. I'm assuming, Debbie. I'm just assuming that you're going to, of course.
I'm going to be there.
All
Oh,
right,
yeah.
and that is here. There you
I'm
go.
so glad you remembered
there.
to do this, Gwen.
Oh yeah, and then of course we're going to be at New Orleans too.
Mhm.
But I'm not. Yeah, they're not going to be, and they're our guests, so I'm not going to put that up right now. We'll run that later.
All right. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. I do want Blaine to close the show. We talked about this, but I didn't. Portals sound interesting. Yes, they
Yeah.
do. They're
They're
amazing.
fascinating.
All right, Blaine. We talked about getting back to our tradition. I'm gonna pop it up. If you can't read it, tell me. Okay.
Got it. A Native American blessing. May Mother Earth guide your feet. May Father Sky keep his arms around you. May Grandfather Sun warm your cold days. May Grandmother Moon keep the glow in your heart. May the star nations light the way to the next destination. And the Great Spirit always keeps you shielded from pain. Blessings to you.
Aho.
Let me say one more thing before we go off air. I like to say this every show. Y'all had 1,000 choices for your entertainment tonight. You chose us. Thank you.
Thank
That
you.
means a lot to
Yeah.
us.
It sure does.
Yes.
Yes.
So thank you for watching Cryptid Nations, All Access Network Original, one story, one voice, All Access Network. All of you guys mean the world to me. I love you so much, and I hope
love
to hear
you
from
guys.
soon.
All
Thank
right,
you.
hold on in the back a minute, and we'll end it, and we'll chat for a second. So, everybody, thank you, Blaine. I know you told everybody thank you too, but everybody, thank you for watching every show. So,
Thank you.
All right,
you.
good night.